I just saw my brother recently and our niece, Sophia, who's adorable. She's 6 years old, very cute. Is she 6? She's 4. And she's 4 years old. And she has a favorite show right now called Spirit. And it's a Netflix show. It's about a horse. It's a cartoon, a horse named Spirit. And this horse, so she also has a favorite stuffed animal, Sophia does, named Spirit. It's a little stuffed animal horse. So remember all this information. So we go to a grocery store, and Sophia's being bad. She's, like taking things off the shelves and like throwing them on the ground. She's running around yelling and stuff. And my brother had a moment of weakness as a parent, and he yelled at her, which is not funny. That's not nice. But what is funny is what he yelled. So he gets down on his hands and knees, grabs 4-year-old little Sophia, and he screams, "If you don't start behaving right now, I'm going to take away your spirit." And nobody in the grocery store knows who Spirit the horse is. Nobody has any idea. All they do is just, all they hear is just a man grab a little girl and threaten to take away her soul. 3 aisles away, I just heard a guy go, "Jesus Christ!" One of my favorite things I've ever seen. Now that I'm a married man, I don't, unless I have a show, it's funny, my time, when people ask me, when do you usually go to bed, it varies between, if I don't have a show, like 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. I go to bed.
You are getting plenty of sleep.
I only sleep. It's a hibernation. So I go to bed at 11 a.m. But if I do have a show, it's like 2:30, a.m.
Right.
So yeah, I appreciate you. But this is a show in a way. So
kinda.
This is,
I guess
it is a show.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
It was easier to book during the pandemic when everything was closed. I can tell you that.
That is one thing I don't miss. It's funny. I have a podcast with no guests, not because I like the format, but because it's easier to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, it's one less job. Like that is
an
interesting thing about doing a podcast or, whatever you want your career to be now. It isn't just, hey, I'm a stand-up comedian. You're also a booker, an audio editor, a podcast host, an engineer. There's just so many fucking TikTok editor, like a social media editor. There's so much.
It needs to be extremely self-sufficient to be successful,
Yes.
If you're waiting on somebody to do something for you, or what I heard during the pandemic and saw during the pandemic a lot was people like offering to do things for folks, and then it just got like really expensive, and like, or putting somebody on their network or whatever. It doesn't do shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you almost can't put any barrier in front of you to get it done. And that includes learning some shit, like learning some skills, which will benefit you in the long run. Like, the thing I was thinking about was like, how many comics do we know who like could probably do voiceover, but they don't because they have, they don't get a good microphone or whatever. So it's like, it forces you to like do things that you can actually make money from anyway.
Yeah.
It's really good skills.
That's a great point, and not even just make money from off your own stuff, but then you can offer those skills to then not do things in a timely manner for other people.
Yeah. It's weird. Fuck, dude. But it has gotten like, it's hard to book for sure. I'll do like a solo episode if I don't have a guest. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I just like the guest ones better. And now that I have this studio, I can kind of have another person here, but it's like not that convenient to come out here.
Well, it's anywhere where, to your point, I think people are so used to now doing things remotely. It's why, and it's, I would love if I was, and you won't pay for my plane ticket and interest of pure transparency. Matt is cheap and won't pay for my business class plane ticket to come use the studio. But if I was in LA, I would be there in a second. But now I do see, whether, even if you were around the corner, it's, well, that's a 30-minute plus parking commute, which I can use to edit my own podcast or, go for a jog or whatever. So different world. Yeah,
it's cool. I'm embracing it as best I can. I mean, the thing that I haven't really even, it's not that I haven't thought about it. I just don't know what to do really, is going back to doing stand-up. And like, I'm just like, I feel like all my material is burned, like existed in a different world, and I had like a 10-year, call it a career in parentheses, leading up to the pandemic. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm very like am I still a comic is like my thought all the time. Like, I don't know anymore. Like I think not right now, but, I
think it's up to you. Like I think that I would call you a comic. Like you're when this is my comedian friend Matt
in hibernation.
As much as
you're hibernating from 11 a.m. every day. I'm just
when I come up for air, it is. I would refer to you as a comedian for sure. It's just what I think. Whatever you want it. These are things I believe that are more in our own heads than are in.
Yeah, nobody was waiting for my next show
so much.
Nobody was waiting for my next show, and my next show will be like, oh yeah, I saw you a while ago. Cool. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Nobody gives a shit.
No one cares about it. No one cares about anything. Everyone cares about everything. That's the biggest thing for me now is I don't understand. It's trying to get out of your head and just trust your instincts of you think, I shouldn't post this Instagram reel thing because it's only going to get X amount of views, and is that even worth it? Or should I post this material before I put it out to be paid? And I think the moment I think no one cares, I'll get a text message and someone will be like, why'd you, that's crazy that you did this. I'm like, fuck. And then the moment that I think, no one cares, it's like, that'll be confirmed where it's like, oh no, actually there's a million people out there who haven't heard of you. There's people who have heard of you. I think there's no one answer.
What has been going on with you that way? Cause I know you filmed and scrapped a special, right?
I did. I've been very busy scrapping my special. I'm not even kidding. I have. I'm going to, just to eliminate any echo, this is going to sound very strange, Matt. I'm going to walk 2 feet over and open up my closet door, which is filled with Philadelphia Eagles clothes, which absorbs the echo. I've bought so much shit that it actually serves as it's
your sound
device.
Reinforcement. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. It'll take 2 seconds.
Okay.
So dumb. So this is, and it sounds a million times better.
Yeah.
To me, again, Matt, this is. I was in a literal echo chamber of my own thoughts, and does it sound different? Who knows?
It sounds amazing now. I think you are definitely, the poster child for. The more Eagles clothes you have, the better your podcast can sound, I think is the lesson.
I agree, and you caught me at a good time because it's getting colder out here. We're recording this in December, so I now have a lot of yarn-based clothes and insulated jackets that absorb the sound much better than, say, a mesh jersey, if that makes sense, which I wear in the summertime.
Right, you've switched out your gear to the winter box. Yeah, the summer gear wouldn't do as much for the sound, for sure.
Absolutely not. So I'm glad this worked out so well. What have I been doing? I'm gearing up to reshoot the special in late February, and the details on that are still coming together. But I'm, as a comedian, so first of all, to catch you up, I guess, is I shot this thing
what happened?
Yeah, so I shot it in Charleston, South Carolina, and it didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. And I think part of it was, some technical issues, and some of it was, biting off and not funding it in a way where there were enough people to cover all of the things that could go wrong, if that makes sense, where, it was a low budget thing I was funding myself. So there were shortcuts. One of the camera persons was my sister, who does not know how to work those. But it's funny, oddly, her shot was incredible somehow. So I don't know. It's so who knows? But it was good, but it wasn't. This is my first special that I'm going to release, and I also, in addition to the technical difficulties, I was not as sharp as I could have been, because it was, what was this, November 2021, and I think Omicron or some variant, maybe it was Delta, was around the corner. So I wanted to plan my prep around not getting COVID, because if I did get it, I would lose all the money before the special. So it was a very strange balance of, I had a lot of ums and ahs, and now it's interesting. It's kind of the opposite issue that you were just talking about of, your material from before is from a specific world, and now you don't feel like it applies anymore. Where then I had COVID material, and by the time the thing was going to come out, people were so sick of COVID and don't want to admit that it was that it's like around. So that was oddly dated in a strange way. So I ended up using some of the clips that I'm not going to from jokes that I'm not going to use on the new one on social media, which is productive and worth some sort of money that I spent on it. And now I'm approaching it where the prep that I'm putting into it it's like a pain in the ass, but I've become a much better, I'm using it as an opportunity to become a better comedian, not just not just creating a better special. So cutting out ums and ahs, and there's a lot of fat on jokes where it takes more work to cut that out. But I think before I would be, I'm telling a story, so there would be just so much scene setting and exposition where it's like, you can just tell the story, get to the funny part, be a human being about it, make it a real thing. But so a lot of it right now is I'm doing more road dates than I ever have, headlining more, and hopefully I feel really good about it and confident about it heading into the winter when I finally shoot it.
Did you so you used the failed attempt basically to edit your jokes significantly too, and be like, okay, now I've learned when I do my special next time when I'm actually going to put it out, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and like that's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. Well said. And I'm not just saying this as someone who, is like violently shaking while saying with rage, while saying like, no, it was a learning experience. Like I would have loved to have learned these lessons without spending the money I did. I think if I was to spend this amount of money on a comedy class to teach me these lessons, I would have wanted a discount on it. But I do think that, and honestly, actually, all joking aside, I do think it was a little too expensive, the class, but the amount of lessons that I've learned for the money that I spent trying to shoot the first one have been so important. And learning about how to instruct the venue of, I think sometimes, and I've seen this with other people's things, other people's shoots, where a venue may not want to throw someone out because they feel like they're interrupting the special, or they don't, and it's coming from a really, really good place. But, you can instruct, hey, if someone's a problem, it's okay. I would rather pause, get them yanked, and then go back into it. And, and why would they know that? They're not in the special business. They're in the live business. So that's a lesson. And then
learning what.
Did you have to yank somebody in your special?
I should have. Yeah, it was a problem. And there's actually, it's the most viewed clip I've ever put out online, which is not saying much. But it was, so there was a girl there where it was her, I think she had just turned 30. And I forgot that Charleston is a really big drinking city, like huge booze city. And she comes in, and Matt, you're going to be like, yo, how many clues do you need before you solve the case, Blake? But she comes in, she's wearing a sash. So strikes 1, 2, and 3 already.
Yeah.
And it says dirty 30 on it, strike 4. And she is just shit-faced, strike 5, buys a bottle, like comes in with a bottle, is just drinking a bottle of wine in her seat, strike 6, and is chatty before the show, strike 7. And I'm doing one of my bits, and she yelled out, like I did the punchline, it did well, and then she screamed, like the punchline's something to do with the word daddy, and she screams, daddy, like, and interrupts the next part of the joke that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I had to tell her that, hey, like, just so you know, I think that we're at, like, we have a misunderstanding because you think tonight's about you and I know it's about me. Yeah. So I think I just need you to be a little quiet. And I was very, very nice with her. And then she was just chatty throughout the show, but I didn't want to, at that point, I knew that well, actually, no, that was my fault because I should have paused it and had her thrown out. And I didn't do that. And they didn't yank her out either. Right. So that's something where I thought that I could ignore it. And because the mics weren't picking her up, I knew that. Right. Yeah. But also, just because the special isn't picking it up doesn't mean my performance wasn't affected. And it definitely made me not as smooth as I'd like to be because I was also doing the math of how much money I was potentially going to lose. And also, the way the color, I chose this really cool backdrop that was one of the reasons why I chose the theater that we shot it in. And the backdrop is really cool, vibrant, like fuchsias and light blues and greens. It was a really cool background, very eye-grabbing, where I wanted when people watch the special to be like, that's Blake Wexler's special. That's shot at this theater. And it ended up being so eye-catching and colorful that it made it almost impossible to color the special. Yeah. And it was, so there's just like learning things where just like we talked about earlier, I wasn't just a stand-up that night. I was also a color specialist. I had to be, like that part of producing is knowing all those things. So, I was in over my head a little bit with that, but it's just, I think that I learned a bunch of things from that.
I mean, I'm just thinking of the many shows we've done that have gone off the rails just because people are there doing crazy shit. And it's just like, God, if that happened in your special, you right then, like it's over, like it's really hard to come back from. Like, why would you go on your 30th birthday, get shit-faced drunk, and go to a comedy club? Why do people do that? Like, do you have any, like, it doesn't happen at other performances. Like, concerts, I get it at a concert, like, nobody can hear you, and you can scream, it's encouraged. Sports events, get hammered, scream. But, like, you wouldn't go to Broadway and get hammered and scream at the actors. So why do you, like, I don't get it.
I think you hit it on the head where people are conflating a stand-up comedy show where they think it's closer to a concert, like a rock show, where in reality it's closer to theater or going to see a movie, I think is also it. Right. You wouldn't get fall down drunk and go see a movie. That's great. That's crazy. And it's even crazier. Where at least if you go
unless
see
it's a concert movie.
Yet unless it's a concert movie, and even then it's barely justifiable. You got to take the foot off the gas at some point, but and also on a human level, they can see you, and you can't. Your alcoholism cannot be drowned out by the sound of the music or other things because it's just someone talking and pausing and pacing what they're pacing. So it's just you can't hide. Is the thing, dude. I had someone. I don't know what it's crazy. I had someone. She was not. This was almost the most upsetting, more upsetting than someone screaming out. But I was doing a string of shows in Denver at this place called the Denver Comedy Lounge, which is an awesome venue, and it was the final. I think I did one show Thursday, 2 Friday, and then 3 shows on Saturday. And I've never done 3 headlining sets in a night before, and I'm stone sober. I don't know. Did I do this joke on the previous show? Did I do it on the show before that? I just was really working very hard to make sure I was putting on a good show. And then I looked to my left, and this woman was loving my act the whole time, front row to my left. And then I'm doing my act, and then I turn, and she's just face down on the table. I'm like, oh, she's so, and then she's being carried out, and I didn't want to be mean because she wasn't disruptive. She was just completely lost control of her alcohol intake, and they were carrying her to the bathroom, and I was not mean. I think I just said, we all see it. We all see it. Let's just move focus and let's just let it happen. We all see it. And then I'm like, all right, I just, for her health, I hope she's being taken care of. And then 15 minutes later, I'm still doing my goddamn set. And then I start to see her coming back into the audience. And I go, oh, no. No, you don't get to come back. You don't get to, you have to stay outside. I'm sorry. You can't come back. It's crazy.
She loved your act so much. That's all she wanted. She was to see it through.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Maybe it was my turns of phrase that are better appreciated after you have 3 bottles of wine.
Jesus Christ, that's so weird. I haven't thought about this honestly in decades, but you reminded me when I was in college, a freshman in college. The theater that was 10 minutes away. This was up near Lehigh University, right? So there was a theater out there in the middle of nowhere somewhere, and they were supposedly having a midnight showing of Pink Floyd's The Wall, right? So me and my friends, we got just crazy. I don't even know what we were doing, but drugs and preparing to go see Pink Floyd's The Wall. We're 18, 19 years old in a theater. I'm like, this is going to be great. Somehow we got there. I don't remember how. But we were completely just out of our gourds by the time it was to go to the movies. But, we barely had the internet. If you wanted to use the internet, you had to go to the library and check the internet. So somebody had the wrong listing for the newspaper or whatever with the theater listings. So it wasn't The Wall, it was Rocky Horror.
No.
And now I never saw Rocky Horror before that, and my only experience with it was that. And I don't think I've seen it since because it was insane.
The wrong vibe.
Right? Totally the wrong vibe.
Not what you needed to see that evening.
Oh, my God. So I can't imagine, if people think they're going to a concert and they end up in a comedy show and they just can't take it. I have to yell. I have to repeat the punchline. It's have you never seen a comedy special before?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is it that people they want to be the heckler that gets the video, or it's just, I don't know. It's the craziest
It's a great question. And also, not in being verbally abused, there's worse things to happen to you, but there are some comedians, and I think almost every comedian has this capability to be incredibly mean to an audience member. I have made a very focused as much as I want, it's happened, but I try not to do it. There are comedians where that's their thing, and their superpower is being incredibly mean and cutting to an audience member. So it's almost like watching, those videos when like a child falls into like a lion's den at the zoo. It's a drunk person at a comedy show with, one of these like insult comics on stage, and they're like, wow, I'm gonna heckle, and then they just get devoured. It's, those are theoretically fun to watch, but even that's like, it's just a lose-lose for everyone. The audience doesn't want to see it. The rest of the audience, shows are expensive.
Yeah.
And people don't pay to listen to a drunk audience member.
It's a bummer, man. I had to learn, as you do, like you have to learn how to deal with hecklers and stuff. And I remember the first time I did it was I handled it completely the wrong way, which is I engaged the person like right away. But I couldn't not, because it was at the Comedy Store, and that room, the main room there, is so big, and just random people come in there. And it was not during the boom. It was like 2012 or something. Like,
yeah.
It was dark. Like, and they would have like those 50 comic shows. You get like 3 minutes, and you don't know when you're going. It was a bringer. It was like a totally one of those shitty bringers.
Of course.
And
Crazy Cindy?
No, I don't think it was Cindy.
I think that was the Belly Room.
I think it was Matt Taylor.
Okay. And by the way, that's how she referred to herself. I
Crazy
wasn't like,
Cindy.
oh, mentally ill Susan.
I don't know. It was either Matt or this guy Martin. But either way, like I didn't go on till 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was like crazy people. And there was a woman hammered in like this right in the front, and she was wearing a tuxedo shirt, and it just made me giggle. But I was just like, I only have 3 minutes, and I'm going to mess with somebody as like barely a comic yet. Like I couldn't handle it. But doing Comedy Ahoy, boy, that gets you
that gives
quickly
you some
to
legs.
Understand like what to do. Oh God.
And it's interesting. Those are some of my favorite shows, the Comedy Ahoy shows, and that I think helped teach me not just there, but like that, but also that was the most enjoyable version of it is you can't force something as a stand-up that isn't there, where you can try to dig with an audience and you can pull something out of pull a great show or a great set out of an unwilling audience, but if it's not there, you can't force an agenda. Where I think I might have done this recently, but there are certain shows where, if my goal would be, I want to film a clean set for TV or something, and you go up and you're supposed to go right into your act, don't swear, super tight, don't riff, don't be in the moment, just material, good night, everybody. And if you go on stage in front of a rowdy audience that only, you need to engage them either in a vague way of being like, wow, this is fucking wild tonight, or something, just acknowledge that you see what the situation is, or else you're not going to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So I've made that mistake multiple times of, I'm going to film this cool, clean thing in front of a rowdy crowd, and they'll just listen. It's like, no, you don't get to do that. That's not happening tonight. So what you just did was bomb and not have anything usable either way. So you might as well have fun.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so bummed that happened at your special taping, but I think it's probably for the best. Like,
it is.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure, for the best.
And that you get to use that material in you can cut it up into 30-second clips, and use it. That's great. Did you see?
And the other stuff is better now too. Like the stuff that I was going to do on it is like tighter, better. It's a better.
How far back are you going, or is this a whole new hour? Like, are you summing up your career into this special?
Great question. It's my best of anything I've ever done. So I'm not going too far back because luckily I've advanced
Yeah.
in certain ways with my writing. But if there's a joke from, I don't know, like 3 years ago, like 3.5 years ago, or I'm like, oh, I really like that joke, like that'll be in there, because my approach is, at first I was thinking, oh, I need to have something I've never released before, but I've never released video before.
Right.
And also almost, even though I'm very fortunate where people have bought my album and people will listen to me on certain streaming platforms, you can say, like, almost no one knows who I am. And just like almost no one knows some of our favorite comedians, almost no one knows who they are. So I might, and they know me even less. So I want to put my best foot forward in this, where if people are seeing me for the first time, I want them to be like, oh, this is the best version of Blake. And then that'll set me up, hopefully, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think about it is one, coming from somewhat related from a music standpoint, like,
for sure.
You're not pissed if you see a band do a song, like that's you like the song. And, I kind of feel the same way about comedy. Like, if it's a good joke and I know it, I don't care. Like, I want to see you do it again. Like, you have tons of jokes like that, like, I don't care how many times I've seen you do it. I want to see it again. Like, so I think people hold it too dear, like their material, as if everybody's seen it already. Like, if you take the group of people who have never seen it, that's who you're going for, and then doesn't matter. And then the smaller group of people who might have heard your records before, right? Even if it's thousands of people, like, they probably don't remember your record verbatim unless they're a super comedy fan, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that joke. But like, it's probably evolved because you're a better writer now.
Right.
There's no loss, is what I'm saying, in pulling old material when this is your first special, I think. And like, I've been trying to think about, like, with music too, like my friends that are like musicians that never like broke out or whatever, they'll not re-record songs that they're much better at playing now because they put it on a record 6 years ago or whatever, and be like, dude, make a new version of it. Like, of course, you don't have to live, like, it's okay. Like, this is art, right? So I think you're making I think it's awesome. And I can't wait to see whatever it is that you do. Where are you going to shoot this one?
This will be in, right now we're trying to, nothing's like official yet, but it looks like I'm doing it in the Midwest, which I'm excited about because it's interesting. I think there's plenty of road comics who incredibly have great perspective when they perform in LA, and I hate blanket statements about LA when people say like, oh, LA people are this. It's, well, no one's from the LA people are from New York. It's LA people are from Philly and Boston and Chicago. So but one thing that did happen to me in LA, and it's because I didn't do the road a lot when I lived there, is I didn't have perspective often on how other areas of the country feel about certain things. And that doesn't mean that you have to change your politics or change your material, but it's being conscious that, oh, other people may not feel this same way as I do about certain things. So it's mint. It's mint. I don't know what that fucking accent that was. It's mint. Mint chocolate chip. But it's meant a lot to me to, getting ready for this thing. I'll be in Boston coming up, and then in Bethlehem in the Lehigh Valley next
during
weekend,
Christmas.
Vermont.
How beautiful!
If you think I didn't plan it that way, you're out of your mind. And I'm performing in a manger, and then it's a 7-seater. So BYOC, bring your own camel, and I am. I've also
paid
tested
in myrrh?
it. Yeah, yeah. And
I don't know what myrrh is.
That's so funny. I loved it though, and I've also on the other side, it's so good. There's just a baby crying throughout my entire set. It's like, what the fuck is that thing?
Who brought a lamb? Honestly. Yeah. Oh Christ!
The Lamb of God tour. But yeah, no, I've been testing it. Like, I just named a bunch of Northeast places, but I ran it in Texas and was just in Asheville, and did a room in Tennessee. So it's meant a lot to me to try this shit around the country and just be aware of. Yeah, it's been cool. I haven't really changed much.
And how big is the room you're shooting? Is it theater? It's a theater, you said. So how many people?
Well, the first one I shot was in a theater, but it was a smaller theater. I think it was only like 100-seater. This one, I think this will be a comedy club. So where we're looking at, it'll probably be between like 200 to 250, I think. And we're shooting multiple shows this time, which is also a lesson learned from the first one where...
Yeah, take the pressure off.
Yeah, and hopefully we can just use one and maybe use a pickup from another one. But it's... if I can't accomplish this thing in 2 or 3 shows, then maybe the thing shouldn't be filmed. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I can't do this job.
It's like, maybe I should have taken the hint from the first one. But that fucking woman, comes out for her 31st birthday.
I'm back, Daddy.
31 with a gun. It's like, no.
God. You'll kick disgusting. Them out at this point.
This point, I dragged them out myself.
So it was interesting. I thought Danny Jollis's last 2 specials were basically obviously edited. Like definitely, they're in different places. I thought that was pretty cool. And then his new one with the way he did it with the pick your own joke. Also, so cool. Oh, amazing. Edited and nobody cares. It was cool. So it's like, I think you can do it regardless. And it's more of like a pressure thing. Like if when I talked to him about his special, when I talked to him, did I talk to him maybe like right around, I don't know. When we talked about his special, he was just saying like, they shot 6 different nights, I guess, for that one that was in the different, don't tell shops.
Location,
the different locations. And he was like, once he got the joke on night 2, he was free. Like he was like, once he had 5 of the 6 jokes in the can, he knew he only had to get the one. Like, and it just freed up all the shows. So that's really cool.
I'm psyched. The best case, worst case scenario for the poor people who have to edit this thing is if I nail it the first night, which means that I have multiple shows to fuck off and do whatever I want. Yeah. That's when there might be, maybe. So I was going to say, maybe we can release multiple, but I mean, obviously that's silly. But there's a comedian named Chad Daniels. Do you know who's incredible?
Yeah.
And Chad just shot 2 specials in one night, where he had like 45 minutes of material left over from the one that he just shot. And then he wrote another 45 or to an hour. And he filmed both of them, 2 completely different hours, 1 take for each show in one night. And he just did it, I think, like 2 nights ago. And he's unbelievable. Wow. Yeah. He's an interesting comic where he lives, not only does he not live in New York or Nashville or LA, he lives not even in Minneapolis. He lives like 3 hours north of Minneapolis in Minnesota. And he's one of the most prolific comedians.
Does he have a local spot? How's he pull that off?
He's on the road a lot, and he does have Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis, which is one of the best comedy clubs in the country. But I think he just works his ass off on the road and writes his ass off at home. And he's great. And to your point, I think a special is whatever the hell you want it to be now. Where Danny, what a cool, I have so much respect for him for what he did with both of them. Have multiple locations. You want to choose your own adventure? What a brilliant
so dope Yeah.
brilliantly cool thing.
Yeah.
And you have, like, years ago, Chelsea Peretti had dogs sitting in chairs in her audience where she'd do cutaways and you'd expect a person laughing and it was like a poodle. It killed me. I thought it was so funny.
That's amazing.
And Rory Scovel did completely improvised hours that he released where which is incredibly impressive too. So I think that classic structure, I love it, but it doesn't. Neil Brennan's 3 mics special. It's there's just so many cool things you could do now. So
did you see Neil Brennan's new one with blocks?
Yeah, I loved it. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah,
yeah, I think he's great.
He was great. I thought of that when you said the background in yours was so crazy colored.
Yeah,
how simple his was. It was really cool. And then at the end, when it turned into his profile, like, holy shit. Like
the way he rearranged the objects. And it was so why not add in a cool thing like that? A cool through line. It's
he did.
That's really cool.
He's incredible. I mean, there's been, I think, my take on comedy through the pandemic is we're just, not that we're through it, but I think in most parts of the world besides Los Angeles, it was over about 8 or 9 months ago, officially for everybody. And in some places more than that, like a year and a half, people
some places
stopped
never
giving
came.
a shit. Yeah, some people just never gave a shit. But comedy definitely took a hit for that year, I think. And the stuff that I thought was coming out was like, oh boy, should have worked on this longer. To your point, like you've had another year or so, or months, how many, like 8 months or so to work on this, and it's all going to be better as a result, and I think we all probably got caught up in that, especially year Louis C.K. kind of trap,
Which is, it depends on what you want it to be, I think, is is this my body, my whole body of work, right. Is this just what I've written and how good I am from writing new stuff in a year? And I think that could be interesting too, is if that's the pattern where, okay, I know that comedian X did all of this in a year. This is impressive considering it was a year, or
right.
If it's like, actually I don't care about releasing a thing every year. I want it to be great. I want it to be as good as possible, and then I'll move on from it. So that'll take 2.5 years or whatever it is. Like, I think that's great too. Yeah, I don't think it matters anymore.
I really liked Ali Wong's special. Like, I never really saw her before, and she had a special come out. So good. It was so good. I forget which one it was, the newest one, but I never really saw her before. She was great. But
she's unbelievable.
It has been really, I think, weird for so many things, but for comedy for sure. It's weird that we've lived through this, don't you think? Like,
I've found nothing changed for me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've noted there's been no discernible difference in my life in the past 2 years, 3 years. But it's a multiple things where there are some positives from it, where it's given me some perspective of having been doing it starting so young. When I started when I was 16, and then kind of doing it not for a living, obviously initially, but doing it consistently for, what is it, like 16, 17 years now, that I would get caught in habits that, because you're on the hamster wheel of doing stand-up and trying to create a career, I didn't have time to step back and review and do an audit of, is what I'm doing, is it what I'm supposed to be doing? Is it what's making me happy? Is it what's making me a better comedian? And I think from not being able to do it for so long because of COVID, I then realized, wait, why am I trying to emulate this comedian? And not their material, but the way that they're like, oh, I must get Yeah, like, oh, I must get Just for Laughs, and then I will get the half-hour comedy special, and then I will get the 1 hour comedy special. You know, like it's this is the biggest thing I think I've taken away. Now this career could not be less linear. And I think before it was supposed to be a very defined, what I just said, a showcase spot, a late night show, special, sitcom, blah, 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 big tour. And now it's, oh, you could get a massively successful podcast and then tour off that. You could be a comedy club touring comedian that nobody's heard of, but you make good money and you have your diehard fan base. You could do corporate stand-up and I make a lot of money, like so much money doing that. And then maybe you get your creative kicks from a different, medium. So there's just so many ways to go about it now. It's kind of hard to.
Are you psyched that you moved to Philly and that you're like based out of Philly now?
I've loved it. We are actually. It's funny that you mentioned that. We're planning on moving to New York in the spring.
Oh no, really?
Because yes, and I've loved it here because it's given me a chance to almost reset after a year, or actually however long I wasn't doing stand up, where I wasn't trying to also be seen and have like people, even something as small as someone who books another show be like, oh, Blake didn't seem that sharp tonight, because I hadn't done stand up in a year. So when we first started, and it's kind of given me the perspective too, where I've grown up and become, I'm like 33 now. And since you and I saw each other last in person, I've like gotten married. I live in a house, I've accomplished thing X, thing Y. Right. And it's interesting too, where I've noticed that since being married, like since, having like a ring on my finger and like talking about being married, it could be in my head, but I've had other people say this to me, where an audience tends to have more trust in you as I guess particularly as a straight white guy, where it's like, well, at least something can tolerate him. At least he's not a complete sicko at this moment in time. You almost have a co-signer on your personality, I guess, or your act. Your personality, I guess, is your act. I'm kind of using it as the same thing, which is probably something I should explore in therapy at some point. But it's been interesting for me too, where I do talk about being married, but I think also it does show that maybe even subconsciously to people, there is something to love about this neurotic fuck in front of us.
Well, there's also like it creates, if you figure like most audiences are people on date nights, married people, stuff like that, it creates this common bond that people out on date night at a comedy club no longer have with a single person.
That's a great point.
Like, I always felt that way anyway about like being, having, when I started my comedy career, I was already married with kids, right? So like, I would see, now some comics get around it by being great comics regardless of their material. Of course. Even if they're, single, degenerate people, right? But if the focus of the material was just about being single and degenerate, I would get lost. I would just kind of be like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not what's funny necessarily, but it's like you get some legitimacy maybe to being, an adult in the room and probably just get some natural common bond with people that are like, okay, well, he's going to understand my life a little. I don't know. Maybe that could be what you're feeling, I think, is like.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's also when you're in that position, you can still tell jokes of, I remember when I was a degenerate. Here's a story of me being a degenerate, but not anymore, but which is. which is my redemption. New catchphrase. Yeah. Not anymore.
Not
and
anymore.
I'll be selling that. Yeah, those hats. But and they're 30-gallon hats. They're big cowboy hats. I'll be selling. Not anymore across the,
what is the gallon,
underside of the brim.
What is the gallon actually? Is that how much liquid the hat would hold?
That's a great question. What is the actual amount of? Because I said 30-gallon because I don't know what it actually is.
I feel like that'd be a huge hat. Like a regular cowboy hat is a 10-gallon maybe. 30 gallons be really heavy.
You know, with like new era hats, it's like, I wear like a 7 1/4, or like a 7 3/4 or whatever. It's like, instead with cowboy hats, it's can I get a 2 liter and see if that fits on top of my head, please? No, okay. Can I get a 1.5 gallons? Can we try that? Oh, it's a little big. For my son, can you get him 4 cups? I know all the liquid units of measure.
That's how we're doing hats now. Jesus Christ.
How much liquid they can
Oh my God. So wait, you're moving to New York?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say where? I'm sorry. Did you say where or am
No,
I?
I'm back to you're moving to New York. I'm genuinely surprised, so I want to hear.
So I'm a great guest in that I give one word answers and then I ask you to repeat the question.
Yes.
Yes. Can you repeat the question? So, yeah, I've loved living here, and I've been very fortunate in, the reason why we didn't move right away is that I started doing some podcasts and some work with the Eagles, which was, like a journey that like you helped, made me aware of the fact that they were looking to do some comedy stuff. And that's been a dream that I didn't realize could even be a dream, to work with your childhood. I joked about my clothes earlier, but that's a very real thing. And financial malpractice that I participate in, but which I have a hold of now. But that was a really cool thing. And then also, life stuff. My now wife and I are both from here, so it made sense to. Geez, are we going to try to move while we're getting married, and while we're planning a honeymoon? And I think, Philly is the best, and I definitely want to wind up here at some point permanently.
Yeah,
but I think I can, or I'd like to move to a city where my stand-up ceiling is a little bit higher and I feel more challenged also, where, and not that there's a million funny people here. I think that, and like incredible, some of the funniest people in the world live in Philadelphia. I think it's the approaching it like a job is what I'm looking forward to. And then seeing what happens from there. But also, like I'll be an hour and a half away from Philly, and I have always wanted to live in New York, so I
like
think
in the city you're going.
We will go to the city initially, and then I don't know what this change in tone I just had was, but I believe because we also want to start like we're getting older, like I want to have kids at some point, and I don't want to raise kids in fucking New York city. So we might, go out to the suburbs. Hopefully would be the plan, but not so far that if I have a set in the city, I won't be like, oh God, I can't, because that city's so weird where I remember when I go the visit, I want to put a bunch of shows together, and it's, hey, I have 2 shows in Brooklyn, but they're 40 minutes away from one another. How the hell is that possible? So there's, and then it's, I would be visiting a friend and they live in North Jersey and it takes them 15 minutes to get to the World Trade Center stop. So it's, we'll figure it out, but I feel good about it.
Yeah. I mean, that it's weird that, for whatever reason, the scenes do have that sort of feel, which is like, I wonder if there's a lot of funny people, but there's not, I don't know how to put it. Like, there was a period of time, I think, here, and maybe it's still this way, but it's hard for me to tell, really. I'm a little detached from it, but Like, it seems like LA definitely took a big hit with the pandemic. The shows are still good, but like not like there right before the pandemic ended. I mean, there was basically every comedy club in Los Angeles was packed with amazing shows every single night of the week. Like, top to bottom, 3 rooms at the Comedy Store. The what's the other one? The
Laugh Factory or
the
Improv?
Laugh Factory, the Improv, plus all the bar shows that were going on all at once. Like, it was insane. I don't think it's that way here, and there would, I don't think, be a time when Philly or a lot of other even somewhat large cities would have that same kind of like, holy shit going on. But New York will.
It's interesting. I'm not sure about LA just because I haven't been there since the pandemic, but I've heard people say very similar sentiments to what you just said. And it's interesting. I think with Philly, I believe the shows, there's less, obviously, in Philly than there are in New York, but I think the shows are much better. And I believe what makes me want to move to New York is that the fact that there are so many comedians. It means I've said this about LA before. I've said this about New York before. All the best comedians in the world live there, and so do all of the worst ones. So you have this like crazy. It's once you get out of the muck of it, you are surrounded by these comedians where it's like, oh fuck, like I gotta follow this. Like, how do I follow this person? And what tricks have I seen people do that I can try to learn from? And I think with Philly, this city, I'm almost talking like a proud uncle or father or something, has become such an amazing stand-up city where there's these new shows by they happen at bars, but the way they run them is they find the perfect room above a bar, where there's no cross talk or any of that. So it's called Next in Line Comedy, and they run these amazing shows, and basically just off Philly talent alone put on these amazing shows where I think the top 15 here's Blake pulling numbers out of his ass, but I think I'm going to believe in what I'm about to say. I believe the top 15 comedians in Philly for like a 15-minute set can compete with the best comedians in any city.
I believe that.
But the problem is that because New York is so close in proximity, they bolt, they bolt to LA once they get those once they get that 15 minutes. So there isn't the next people in the pecking order, the first 15 generally 8 will leave, and then you got to fill those 8 spots. So I don't know if I'm making any goddamn sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a smaller pool, even though it's a big. And there's still talent, but it's just you're talking thousands of people instead of tens of thousands trying to do that.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for throwing me that lifeline because I was about to drown. But now you have Helium, which is one of the best clubs in the country, if not the best. And you have the Punchline, which is now a massive venue here. And there are a ton of really cool shows, in the suburbs and Lehigh Valley. And it's a really interesting, and they're also very easy for New York comics to get to too. So I have a feeling, I know there will be times where now I'm doing a show and I'm like, oh God, like I just want to go and leave, and I'll take these audiences for granted, and then I'll be up in New York in front of 3 people, and while I'm grinding my ass off, I'll be like, oh God, these 3 pieces of shit. I wish I was back in Philly. So I know that I'll feel both ways, but I think it depends on what you want. So
have you lived in New York to do comedy before?
Have I ever moved there?
Yeah. Have you ever lived in comedy to do that?
No, never. And that's one of the reasons why I want to do it. I've never lived there. I've done stand up there like a million times, but never.
Yeah, but you didn't stay and live there and do the 3 shows a night, walking around, all that kind of comedy.
Correct.
staple stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's worth a try. And, it's not like things for me in LA or here where like, my God, if something doesn't change, I'm a dead man, or things have been going well, but I'm like, let's see if I can raise the ceiling a little bit.
New York is so interesting to me. It's such a cool place. The last time I was there, I think it had to be before the pandemic because I was there. So it must have been before the pandemic. And I don't even remember why I was there, but I wanted to walk downtown through the park and go to the Comedy Cellar. And just because I'd never been there, I was like, I gotta go check this place out. And on the walk, this is to your point, on the walk, they were shooting an episode of Pete Holmes' show Crashing.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Burr was shooting that night. And so he was on the street shooting, they were like in between takes or whatever. Said hi to Bill Burr. I was like, hey, I'm going to go down to the Comedy Cellar. And, he's always the best. He's always just the sweetest dude. All right, dude, I got to go shoot now. All right, take care. I'll see you. Good luck.
Yeah.
But I went in there, and then right around the corner is another one. So like, I was like, holy shit, man, this is very, very different. It's not even like, you wouldn't have to work hard to get 3 or 4 sets in a night. Like, as long as you're in with people and you can get in and go up and do sets. But I can see the power of that. And I think that is the reason that people elevate out of there. It's like reps, close audiences, hard audiences, audiences that don't take any shit. Like, you got to be good. You got to have your shit together. You got to be quick, So I think that's going to be awesome for you, actually. Like, that'll be really fun.
I hope so. That's the plan. And I also this is an odd thing to fixate on, but I do think there's something to be said, too, about not having to drive from show to show, because the travel, say if you're doing a set in one part of the city in New York and then you do the other one, like you hop on the subway and for 20 minutes, you can be in your head preparing for the next set, where if you're driving in LA, it's, I can't rear end this idiot in front of me, or like, it is a more active, your brain has to be more active on that. And I think also for me, I'm at my funniest when there's like external stimuli like coming at me at all times, where your mind's constantly thinking about people and about your surroundings and your world, where I'll speak for myself. When I'm in a car, I'm just in my car. I'm not making an observation of, look at this maniac over there, or I wonder why this person's listening to this, or, oh, there's a song I just heard that I've never heard before. What's that about? I think there's something about being the energy of what's around you can, watch me just like go into a coma because there's just too much going on. But I think that matters. I think that helps.
Do the cars honk all the time? Are they going to honk all the time? Jesus Christ.
It's fucking it's loud here. No one told me it would be loud.
It is loud. It is loud there.
Like, it's very loud.
It's a loud city. Like, but it's like a white noise by the time you're there for a little while. It's just,
exactly.
It just blends in. But that's great. I mean, I think.
Thank you.
I think that'll be super fun. I think it's soon, right? You're going soon?
We'll see. Like, the timing shifts, but probably the spring, hopefully.
Okay.
Mid-spring.
So you'll be there through the Eagles season, which is going amazingly well.
It's going great. I think I went to my 4th game this year on Sunday, and it's unreal. You've never seen them this good, right?
Well, the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but of course. But even then, there were doubts because when Carson got hurt that year, I was like, "Oh, there's no way this is done."
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I was wrong.
They they weren't quite as undeniable that year, I would say, and had so many weapons.
Right.
It was like Nick Foles could better execute the offense that was drawn up for them than Carson Wentz because he didn't really run around.
Yeah.
And he just executed the playbook fairly effectively. But yeah, they weren't like as weaponized as they are now. I mean, it's the receiving core, the running backs. They're like 3 deep on running backs that could kill you. They're like 3 or 4 deep on receivers that could kill you. The defensive line is insane. Yeah, they're good. It's fun to watch, and I think when the teams are good, like the Phillies this year in the World Series, when the teams are good, is like the only time I really miss being there.
Yes.
I was so bummed when the Phillies didn't make it through the World Series. Like that was crushing.
It was an amazing story.
And I was glad I wasn't there because I was like, oh man, that no-hitter game, what a nightmare to witness.
My poor buddy. So I went to the game before that. I went to the good one when the Phillies won, when we were up 2-1 and was so clearly going to win the World Series after that.
Yeah.
And it was, not to make you miss it here, but I've never lived in the city because I grew up in the suburbs. So I would go into the city for when the Phillies won in 2008. I took the train back from college in Boston and went to the parade in Philly. And I, would drive in as a kid to do stand up in the city, but I never actually lived in it and was surrounded by it 24/7. And for that Phillies run was so much fun because they had no business doing it because they were bad. At the end, they literally fell ass backwards into the playoffs. It wasn't like they were hot heading into the postseason, which some teams are like, oh, they caught fire at the right time. It's like, no, they were terrible. They were ice cold. They won a game. And then I think they were no hit the next night after they clinched the playoff spot by Houston, I believe. And crazy. So... But yeah, just being around and seeing like the jerseys everywhere and just seeing how happy everybody was. And there was one night where the undefeated Eagles were playing Houston while the Phillies were in the World Series. It was unreal. And then I think the Union were playing. Not that that's something like anyone gets too psyched about, but like the Union were playing for the MLS Cup on that Saturday. It was really cool seeing the whole city in a almost manic, but an incredibly great mood. It was really, really cool.
It's crazy how sports does that to that city.
Yes.
And we always joke about when the Eagles are on like Monday night or Sunday night or, the late games. Mm-hmm. Like not this past game, but the game before that, it was Sunday Night Football, right? So it was on at 8:30 or something. It would have started
5:30 or something. Yeah,
and by the time the game's over, we're like, "Holy shit!" People are hammered, like because they got to the parking lot like noon, 12 o'clock, and started tailgating for that night game, and then I remember when we used to go to the games when we lived there, the season tickets, like the night games. Oh my God, it's a marathon. Like it's such a long day. But when they win, there's just nothing better. So like all of the sports happening at once with the Phillies and stuff, it had to be so magic. And like, I just marvel at how Bryce Harper came through the game you were at. So that was the game you were at where he hit that home run. Just like
unreal.
Like I saw that same exact type of thing happen in L.A. when Matt Stairs hit the home run. I was there.
Oh, you were there
Dodger
for
Stadium.
that? Oh my God!
And it was the exact opposite. The whole place went dead, silent, and me and my wife were just like, "Yay!" Because there was only about 6 Phillies fans in the stadium at the time. During playoffs, the Dodgers fans show up. By the way, just FYI.
Of course.
It's usually like 50-50. Phillies Dodgers when you go during the season. I'm sure you've been to those games. Like it's
of course.
Easily 50-50. that's what I thought it would still be. It was not. It was not at all. Like
they bring out the checkbooks for the for the playoff games for
shit.
sure.
But yeah, Matt Stairs hitting that home run, I was like, God,
it was like a moonshot too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I would have rather been at the Bryce Harper one with friendlies, just like because it was incredible to watch live. So I think being in the stadium must have been one of the best sports moments in history. Really,
it was so cool. And I've tried to make a point to bring myself back to the joy of that moment without, like thinking about how they ended up losing. But
yeah,
it was also fun where that game was supposed to be on Halloween. And I remember showing up to the stadium, and then while we were in there, it got rained out. Like the game never started. So it was the first World Series game in Philadelphia since, 2009 or whenever it was. Yeah. So people were so backed up, like excited for this game. And then they had to go home and then come back the next night. And everyone was just so psyched. And then it was, I think they won 6-0. Like it was kind of never in doubt, which was fun. Or it was enough in doubt where it wasn't a blowout, where you were still like hanging on everything. But it was really, really fun. And Alec Boehm hit one out, who was the guy who said, this I think encapsulates Philadelphia more than almost anything else, where the guy who he made an error earlier in the season and fans started booing him, and you saw him say, I fucking hate this place, like mutter it, and like live TV picked it up. And then the next day he comes up to bat and the whole stadium gives him a standing ovation because everyone can relate who's from Philadelphia muttering, I fucking hate this place to themselves, at least multiple times a day. But you love the place, but you fucking hate this place. So,
So you really saw the game where they absolutely shelled the dude. They picked up his tail and they all crushed him, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then the next game they got no hit.
And I have a friend who flew in from massive Phillies fan, very close friend, massive Philadelphia sports fan, flew in, was like, I want to see a World Series game in Philadelphia. Because you just don't know if you'll ever see another one. I think that's a big approach too, where that Eagles Super Bowl, I'm like, I don't know if this is, A, I didn't know if it would ever happen. B, I don't know if it'll ever happen again. So I'm going to soak this the fuck up for the next 5 years. Nonstop. And, he had a similar approach. He flew in from LA, bought insanely priced tickets, went with his sister and watched the team. And it wasn't even a cool no-hitter where it was one pitcher throwing it, where you can be like, I was at the, Justin Verlander no-hitter.
Nothing good, nothing good about it. Yeah.
No, like that lefty and 3 other guys that we won't remember pitched a no-hitter. So, it was a mess.
It was crazy.
It was a really fun time in Philly.
Yeah. I think they'll be back in contention because I think they had a really good time. Like that was pretty evident they're having a good time. Like there was some things they really need to change. Like there was a lot, and I don't get to watch a lot of baseball. So watching every game of a wild card, an NLCS, and the World Series was really amazing for me. Because I don't get to sit and watch it, but it was like we're watching the Phillies are in the World Series. And, as a former somewhat decent baseball player, it was painful to watch so many of those guys not even get a hit through the World Series. Like I was like, how can you not get one single hit, like not contribute? Like that,
the wind
just unacceptable.
Took one in a way where nobody was at. Yeah, it's really strange.
But
it's very strange.
And my buddy was even telling me, he's like, Houston's pitching's unbelievable. There's no way the Phillies can win. I was like, I don't know. I think they're pretty scrappy with the bats, but they just it like fell away there in the World Series for like I think 3 or 4 of their starters didn't have hits, which is just can't do that.
Bryce cooled off, but they were. I think they'll be good going forward. That Trey Turner signing now, which just happened yesterday, was
Dodgers, right?
Yeah, and one of the best hitters in baseball. Like for like I think he hit 330 like a year or 2 ago, and he is 28, and we don't need to think about when he's 38 at the end of that contract, but he's, inflation at that point, like $130 million a year, it'll be like, no, it won't matter at all. So, but he turned down an additional $40 million from the Padres to go play with the Phillies, and that wouldn't happen if Bryce Harper wasn't here, if the owner wasn't willing to shell out all that money. And I always want to give credit to the billionaires. You know this about me, Matt. And I think that they have it hard enough without our props. So credit to Mr. Middleton. And then also, they were just a fun team. And I think that comes from Kyle Schwarber, who almost seemed like a Jason Kelsey like a young Jason Kelsey sort of character for that team, who was just like fun, and like actually has a really interesting personality and is self-deprecative, and
they were fun. That was really fun. So you said you were doing stuff with the Eagles. You're not doing stuff with the Eagles anymore. That
I am. It's like a freelance thing. So it's kind of whenever it comes up, whenever they think of me for something, or I have a pitch that I think would work. But it's interesting, and I've talked to other people who do a similar, who work for sports teams, where it's harder to do like I'll say like silly fun stuff when the team's really good, because I think you do that when the team's okay, because you don't want to do it when they suck either, or else people are like, I don't want to fucking watch this. What's fun about this? They suck.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they have so much. By the way, this is not like information they're giving me. This is me extrapolating and using information from other people on other teams. But I think what happens is when a team's really, really good, during the season, it's sports stuff that they want to do. It's highlights of dunks and 3-pointers, or touchdowns, or goals. I think you have so much football stuff or so much basketball stuff when a team's really good. It's tougher to produce more like non-sports related stuff. I mean, still sports related because it's for the sports team, but I recorded it a long time ago, and it came out over this late summer. There's this food podcast. It's called Feeding the Birds, where I co-hosted that with Derek Gunn, who, do you remember him from Philly at all? He was like a long-term announcer, but it was examining the intersection of football and food. So like Dick Vermeil owns a vineyard now. So Dick Vermeil was on the show, like, talking about wine. And then there would be an episode that would be a family-themed episode. So, like, Brandon Graham would come on with his wife and talk about stuff that they would cook for one another. So, and I would host a food debate with Ross Tucker, who is a former player and really great analyst, and Colleen Wolfe, who is from Philly and amazing on the NFL Network. So, yeah, it was a really fun experience. So, there's another season of it. Like, I would hope to do it again, and then if I have a podcast that I'd like to do, I'll pitch a few ideas to them. We'll see what happens. But they've been so great to work with, and I've been fortunate enough to get actual lifelong friendships out of it too, which is really cool. So it's been an amazing experience.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think there's, because we did, I guess it was a podcast, right? Like a couple years ago. Yeah.
And that was like a pilot of, I guess Blake knows what he's doing to an extent.
I'd love to hear how that turned out.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you after this.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
I wanted to ask you about your whole getting married, all of that shift, because that's a big change that's gone on. So how's that been going for you? And your wife's amazing, by the way, and she's always been super cool. I just think like you it was funny trying to, and this is just my perspective, coming like trying to get you booked to do this thing, like months. I know how it goes, planning shit. You're just like, yeah, in 3 months I have to do something, so I can't possibly book this right now. You're just like, yeah, I know it is a giant pain. Like there's a lot going on, so I want to hear about that and how it's going.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy we've been able to catch up. And it's been great. Yeah, she obviously feelings mutual, back to you, we're both huge Matt Neal fans. And you guys, oh God, you're such a fucking saint. For the listeners, Matt got us this throw blanket that is the most soft, comfortable blanket in the entire world. And I would love to read that text that I sent you, the thank you text, because I was flabbergasted with how soft this blanket was. And I love a soft blanket. It's such a good gift. And yeah, Julia, by the way, we must have gotten it like 6 months ago. And Julia goes, hey, thank Matt Neal for the really nice soft blanket that we just got. I was like, I think we got this half a year ago, but I will thank
That's
him
awesome.
again. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's kind of the same in that, it doesn't change how we interact with each other really, but it changes, there's more life planning stuff where now if I go out and buy an authentic Jalen Hurts jersey, it's, can I afford to do the groceries? Can we eat? Can we afford to eat this week if I make this decision? But no, it's been great. And just like closer with her family, and it is fun.
You met her in LA, right?
So she moved to LA. We actually knew each other in high school. So we grew up together where we were from the same area. She was a year older and continues to be. And we knew each other, I think, starting in either middle school or early high school.
Oh, wow.
And then
I knew that.
Yeah. And we didn't date or anything. And then we reconnected when I was living in LA and I was doing shows in Philly. And we were friendly, like we weren't super close, but I would say we were friends. And then like she came to one of my shows and we ended up hitting it off, and we ended up doing long distance for like a year and a half. And then she moved to LA, and that's how where you met her.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how that happened.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's a good egg. I'm happy for you, man. That's super fun.
Thank you, dude. And I adore your wife and your kid. Like she's the best and cracks me up, and is such a sweet person, and your kids are awesome too. So we didn't fuck that up.
Yeah. We got that.
Good.
We got that all right.
Yeah, we figured that one out.
Are you do you get out to LA? Are you even planning to come out to LA? Or is that part of your road plan at all?
I do plan to go out. It's interesting. It's not part of my road plan in that I can't, and it's not, I will break even on stand-up trips all the time, but it's interesting. I wonder how much of this is like some sort, I'm unpacking this in real time with you, is like emotional baggage, but I do want to go out. The thing is when I go to a city, it's generally, I'll headline there and make X amount of money that will at least pay for the trip. But in LA, that kind of doesn't exist. So
I think you'd probably have to do like the same thing the Phillies do, is like hit all the cities. You'd have to,
I'd have to go to San Diego,
San Francisco, on down the coast, Santa Barbara, LA, hit them all to make it worth it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I like don't feel like doing that.
Yeah,
well, it doesn't mean I wouldn't, but I do. It doesn't mean I won't want to do it. I just don't. It is literally what I just don't feel like doing it right now. But I do really want to go to LA, and it was my my home, and I love all those places that you just mentioned. But I left during COVID, and I had lived there for 10 years, and it was my home. I had lived there. I'd spent like my whole adult life there, basically. And I was not able to leave in the way that I would want to. And not that this is some whole, like mental crisis, but I would have loved to have been able to oh, I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant and eat there and have like a big group get together at my favorite bar with all my friends. And, Matt will be there and my friend PJ and my friend Georgia. But it was in peak. It was January, like 2021.
Yeah, you escaped during the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
slipped out. Yeah.
Yeah, all my like quote unquote farewells were in a park, you know, like 10 feet away from the other person. So I think if I was to go out there, it would almost be more like a personal trip than it would be. I would do stand up, obviously, but I wonder if, whenever the special comes out, if I can. It's interesting. I always try to justify a trip like that to have a career aspect to it rather than just It's like, no, you can take a personal trip. You're a grown up. You're allowed to do things like that. But
you're married now too. You can do that.
I know. Yeah, another reason where I would have to justify it with, no, but she would want to come back to, like, we would go back together. And, it's interesting. So that was a 4.5 hour answer to a very simple question. I would love to come back and see everybody.
Don't feel like it.
I don't feel like going to Santa Barbara and driving up to San Francisco is what I don't feel like doing.
In March, I drove up to San Francisco because you think it's okay. You're like, it's, and I realized that it's not okay. And I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, it is literally a 40-minute flight. And
yes,
it's so much better. Like, coming home, I was just like, why did I do this? Why? It's not pretty. Like, if you take the coast, if you take the coast and you have 3 days to do it, it's pretty.
Yeah.
But if you just want to get home and you're taking the 5 or the 101, it's awful. Like, there's nothing good about it. Especially the 5.
There is beef being slaughtered. If that's what you like, it's a great drive. And I've never done a drive before where the ETA you can get to San Francisco in 3 hours 45 minutes or 12.5 hours. It depends on depending on traffic. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it is an ugly drive. I forgot about how bad that drive is.
Yeah, I realized how bad it is this last time. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
It's terrible.
So I get that you're not feeling like doing that. That totally makes sense. Unless you're like able to afford to fly between cities,
which would be fun. It's interesting. San Francisco less so, but it's almost the same problem with San Francisco where if I was there's like maybe 2 or 3 clubs that I could make enough money to justify it at, but Portland, it's funny to go to LA. I would have to fly. I would have to do the Pacific Northwest first and then stretch that money into LA, which I'm exaggerating a little bit for comedic effect. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but but I would love to go back. I miss it, and I don't know. It kind of knocks you in the face when people will ask me, coming from the East Coast, "Hey, what shows should I do in LA?" And there's maybe 2 or 3 that I used to do that are still around, and that doesn't mean they haven't been replaced, but by other shows. But
it's weird. I that's the other thing is like I had this built-in show every 2 weeks, and that was near your place. The venue closed, and it's like, all right, I got to do that. I got to build that up again.
Oh, crazy! I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if the venue hadn't closed, I probably would have started it up again as soon as the masking went away. And in fact, I was talking to them. I want to say like 3 months before I would have had a show and start up again, and they were like, "Yeah, cool. I booked it. It was all ready to go." And then there was a period where LA kept coming in and out of masking requirements.
Yeah.
Like they took them off for a week or 2 and then they put them back on. And so we canceled. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, we can't stay open anymore. We got to close. And I was like, fuck.
Bummer. I love that place. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So it's like, there's a lot of, to your point earlier about like putting barriers in front of yourself to do things. Like, it's not the most unachievable, but I now have to find a cool venue, cool owner, cool place within a certain proximity where I feel like putting that effort in again, because it takes a while to build a show.
Yeah.
I just passed like a couple, I don't know, time has no meaning, but a few months ago, I drove past Verdugo Bar. And I was like, I love that place. I think I texted you. That's what we talked. We texted about that.
That's what it was.
Because the Maniac during the show that I did there at the Verdugo Bar.
And still the greatest.
You should tell that story. You should tell that story because I was so wrapped up in it. My perspective on it is not as clear because I think I was on stage for the brunt of it.
It was great. You were, I think maybe you were up. You were on stage, but you didn't take the haymaker from it. Where there was a guy who had rushed out. Okay, so to set the scene, I used to run a show, really fun show at a really fun bar called it was called Friendship Buddies. Was a show
outdoor before it was cool.
Outdoor before it was cool. Outdoor before it was medically suggested to do that. And it was myself and my buddy Aaron Herzog ran it, and also from Philly. And it was a cool outdoor show, and it would get packed. It was a really fun show. And there was a guy, so it was out on the patio. You enter through the bar, you walk through the bar, and then you get out to the patio, and it's this fenced-in, nice area back there. So you're on stage, and a comedian was on stage, and then this guy rushes out, and maybe Matt, you were maybe like fill in some things after I tell the story, but so the comedian's on stage. We hear a commotion from inside. It's a guy had not paid his tab. He was trying to run out on his tab, and he runs outside and he goes, we just hear from inside like, oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And he walks out, and then he expects to just walk outside to get like away. And he walks into a show with like 50 to 60 audience members staring at him and a comedian. And the comedian turns to him, and the guy's lit up, and he goes, oh no, fucking comedy. Fuck. Like he was so pissed off. And then he tried to like open up a gate in the back to get out, but it was locked. And he's like, fuck. Like he's looking for an escape route, but he can't find one. So he runs back. He goes, fucking comedy. Fuck you. Fuck comedy. And then he runs back through the bar, and whoever's on stage was like, Jesus Christ. And then like they finish their set, and then the next guy goes up. So this guy was not you, Matt, whoever this guy was. So the next comedian comes up, and he's starting to do a set. And then there's a pause in between his jokes where it was quiet. And then we hear this same maniac who sounds like he's like 100 yards away. We just hear, ha, 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 very funny comedian. So this dude is being heckled like from outside the venue. So he can't see the heckler. The heckler can't hear what the comedian's saying back to him. So the comedian was so fucked. And it was devastating watching this comedian try to deal with it, where the guy would like then get tripped up, try to remember his joke. And every single time you'd hear the maniac from a block away go, funny comedian. It was so crazy. And the guy bombed. It was horrible. Like there was nothing he could do about it. But yeah, that was my favorite heckle story I've ever seen. Yeah, it was crazy.
I might like my memory of it. I remember it all, but I don't remember. Maybe I was on when he came out to try to get out of the fence.
Yes.
I might have been wrapping up when he came out to try to get out of the fence.
That's what I think it was.
And then he disappeared in, and then we heard him later for whoever was on after me. Still, I think that's what it was, because my memory of it was seeing him slam into the fence in the back corner, like trying to get out. So that's the only way would have been my perspective from on stage, seeing him try to escape.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
I remember very clearly. I see you up there now, and it's interesting where normally 99 times out of 100 that would have been the worst of it. You know, where it would have been like, oh my gosh, did you hear what Matt had to deal with? A guy like tried to break out of the building, you know, when he was on stage. But then no, it was the next guy who was so devastatingly heckled for his entire set from a man who was outside. That it was. like a sniper.
I think that's why when they first started doing outdoor shows, people were like, "Oh my God, no, we can't do it outside. People can heckle you from across the street. I can't do that."
There's no boundaries.
I couldn't even see them. You could just be driving by and heckle. Fuck this.
Weirdo. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Excuse me. So funny.
So what's next, man? Special coming up a couple months. Yeah.
Yes. So to prep for that, next week I am. So I'll just name dates whenever you want to release this. It is perfectly fine with me. But I have. So I'm going to Vermont December 15th on a Thursday. Then December 17th I'm in Bethlehem, and these are all headlining dates. Then Helium. I'm doing
paid in myrrh.
Doing what?
Getting paid in myrrh.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Getting paid in myrrh, which is my chosen currency. And I'm doing Helium January 5th, headlining that. That's my home club. Then the next weekend I'm in Boston, and then I should have be rounding out some more dates. But yeah, it's the most stand-up I've ever done, and I've always recorded myself, but I've never listened to it.
I didn't. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would hate listening to it. But now I'm seeing, if you listen to it, you realize how much fat is on your act, and you can cut it off.
I'm really surprised at that, actually. But I'm glad you're doing it now. So when you, okay, so when you go to these gigs now, warming up for the special, you're running what you hope to be the special every time?
Yes, in the order until I nail it the way I want it to. Because there's some certain tweaks that I'm making where it's, is this thematically, does this work here? Or is this joke can I follow this joke with this joke, or should I actually move it down? Because if I do something that's too high energy, I need to come back with something, just to order it the right way. And so, I'll do the same act, but this is the hardest part, is the discipline of it. Is my favorite thing in the entire world is to riff and be in the moment and deconstruct what I'm doing in the moment on stage. Yeah. So when I'm trying to my process is nail the material, and then after that, you can also do the, silly, fun stuff. Yeah. So my problem is sometimes I like to play on stage rather than get the work done first. The work needs to be done at some point, and then the playing can also happen. But I do need to get that work done, and there is a time frame in which I have time. I'm not worried about accomplishing that. I know I'll do it, but I just need to stay disciplined. So yes, and then if I'm doing a bunch of shows there, sometimes I'll let myself, I can't help myself. I'll riff with the crowd and do that sort of thing, because that's, I don't want to handcuff myself in that way either. So
are you able to, is Helium your home club? You can go there, you could go do sets every day if you wanted?
I do that more at the Punchline, which is interesting because Helium I'll headline, Punchline will... they've been really cool, where Rachel over there has been incredibly supportive. So I can, if I don't abuse this, but if I need I haven't done stand-up in enough time to be warmed up for something I want to do, I could say, hey, do you mind if I do a guest set or whatever on this show?
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think listening to your sets is going to be huge. You know what I didn't realize is that you didn't have a special.
No, because never.
Yeah, that's amazing, because your albums are so iconic, so good.
That's crazy.
And so
thank you.
No, I mean, it's really, honestly, dude, it's so good.
That means a lot.
And I think I just have seen you so much and heard the jokes that the fact that you don't actually have a film special is oh yeah, I guess that's true. A formal, really full, real deal special. That's so fun that you're going to do that. I can't wait.
Thank you. Yeah. That means a lot. Are you doing
the Penny joke?
You.
Did Penny make it into the greatest hits?
Penny didn't. I haven't done
joke.
Penny in it. I got to bring that back.
It's such a good joke.
I got to bring that back. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's great.
That's one of my favorites. When you shoot, so you're recording 4 shows?
At least 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no, probably 4 because I would do probably a Friday and Saturday. So yeah.
And how many cameras are you going to have?
I believe 1 per show. No, 4 for each show. 4 for each show. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be an editing. Yeah, that's going to give you a lot to pick from.
3 will be in the same exact place, and then 1 will be moving around, if that makes sense. So we'll have 3 like pre, a wide, like straight on, 2 on the elbow, like a basketball court, 2 on the elbows, and then we'll have a 4th that we have to figure out what to do. But
what's your favorite special visually that you've ever seen?
That is a great question. You know what? I really love, maybe the material is, Eddie Pepitone's one of my favorite comedians in the world. And I know Stephen Fine Arts, who directed that, is, so have you seen In Ruins? It's Eddie Pepitone's latest special.
I don't think so.
Matt,
No.
you're going to piss your pants. It is so up your alley. Watch it. If you can, watch it tonight. It's so up your alley. It's like, have you seen Eddie before? Like, do you know him a little bit?
Yeah.
It's so, it's like, it's the best. And just visually, it's shot in a small room. It was shot at, that theater near MacArthur Park, the Dynasty Typewriter.
Oh, yeah.
It looks beautiful, like the way the lights are, and also in the background, it's kind of like a mess of books and stuff, which represents Eddie. And it's a small room, but it feels like it's a massive theater, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's a really, really cool one. What's yours?
Whew. I really liked. It's hard to say if it's because of the material or not. Now that I think about the question,
Yeah.
I have a theory about comedy specials, and I don't know if it's real or not. But I like less editing, and some shots take me out of the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm trying to I really liked Danny's special. I really liked the way who was it? Well, Neil Brennan's we talked about. I thought that was phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah.
I gotta think about that. I really liked Chappelle's special where he's just sitting on a stool in the belly room.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
It was basically a one shot,
He's so dynamic, even sitting down. It's like, oh, they must have had 8 cameras. It's like, no, they kind of just, it was one thing, basically.
You know what? You'll love this. So I was thinking about when I go back and do stand-up again, I think I'm going to use the stool more.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mark Maron, I think effectively uses the stool quite well. Like
he does.
And I was like, you know what? It's always fucking on stage. And it shouldn't just be to hold a drink. Like, I think I'm going to sit on it,
it's a chair.
Yeah. You can use it as a chair.
Yeah.
It's functional as a chair.
I like that. I feel like that works for your energy, too. I feel like that would be good. It's funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go. No, you.
I remember meeting Mark Maron was in Boston when I was there. So this must have been like 2006, 2007. And I was a fan of his even back then. And I went up to him and I was like, hey, why do you, I asked him like, why do you use the stool in the way that you use it? And he goes, it grounds me. And then just went over to his next conversation. I'm like, all right, it grounds him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've met Mark since then. He was very, very pleasant. But yeah, it was, it grounds me. Okay.
He is an awesome dude. I think it was just because he was there a lot. I did a lot of shows with him at the Comedy Store, and always just a super nice guy, and just he would do the circuit all the time, right? So he would do all 3 rooms, and like if I did a show in the belly room with him, then I would go watch him in the main room, and then watch him again in the original room, and he'd do 3 different sets, and you're just like, this is insane how good he is.
He's awesome.
I'll never forget, I did a belly room show there once, and I had friends like fly in, which was crazy. They flew in and surprised me that they were there. So like they were, in that room, how there's seats like right in front of the stage, and then there's seats along the edge where you walk on stage.
Yeah.
So that's where they were sitting, and I had no idea that they were there. So like as I'm walking on stage, they're like, "Hey, dude," and I was just like, "Oh my God, holy shit!" Like 5 or 6 people that I hadn't seen in months, like right before I go on stage. So I go on stage, everything's great, and then at those shows they would always have drop-ins, and it just so happened to be that right after me was Mark Maron, and like after the show, and a couple of the people were like parents, who never been to LA, never been to a comedy show, but they knew who Mark Maron was, and like they came up to me afterwards, like, "Oh my God, like you just did a show with Mark Maron," and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I guess that appears to you like." In some crazy universe, I'm on the same level as Mark Maron.
That's so funny.
But like, this is just how shows go here. Like, I didn't open for Mark Maron because he was like, who I need opening for me? It's just like,
Matt, that's so funny. And to have these people which was so sweet, because again, they don't know, but right before you're going on, surprise, it's like, oh, I don't, not right now.
That doesn't help me.
Right.
I don't need this. I don't need this right now. It's nice that you're here, but
the thought was sweet.
It was awesome. Fuck, man. I know it's getting late for you. And I could.
This has been a blast,
hours,
dude.
But we can't let it be a year and a half.
Absolutely not.
Again, until we do this. But man, it's so good to see you and so good to catch up. And I'm so excited for you. If you have anything like you want me to like look over before your special, or like send me recordings of your prep sets or something.
I appreciate that.
I'd love to help break it down, because like I definitely have like I don't know, like a good editing capability, I think.
Yeah. You have a great mind for stuff like that, for sure. Like
where to cut, and especially if you're doing that work. I mean, you're going to do it naturally just by listening and getting ready for this, but like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to get out of your own head on that stuff. But
to get perspective, absolutely. And then I'm going to send you that Eagles podcast pilot also, that for you to listen to too, of course.
So
this was
next
a blast,
couple months, I got all your dates. I'll put some links out there, and
thank you,
and all that stuff. I think this will go up this week.
Cool.
Probably Friday. So getting the dates in there will be good. Hopefully people can come out, and I don't know, man. It's always good to catch up. I feel like we're, it doesn't matter where you're living. It's always cool to see you. And if I'm back there or in New York in the next couple months, I'll come check it out. But I'm excited for you, dude. It's going to be cool.
Please do. And I feel like, the way you're so good at hosting this show, I feel like I literally am in there in your studio with you. So yeah, dude, this was the best catching up, and I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. All right, brother. Be good.
I'll talk to you soon.
Good luck with the recording, and yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a